Okay, so I'm married to an Italian Irish Catholic girl from Boston. Fighting is an inevitable part of relationships. It just is. It's not just fighting for fighting's sake. How you fight, why you fight, and where that's leading you is all stuff we're going to get into today.
Boom, 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 boom.
Because fighting is a big part of love. Unfortunately, you gotta fight in relationships. It fucking sucks.
But it's so necessary. There are things that you cannot keep bottled up. You cannot avoid this confrontation. And sometimes we can all pretend we'll rationally talk about these very heated things.
Yeah, you can pussyfoot around it.
But at the end of the day, you probably are gonna end up screaming at each other
and that's okay. But this is the major caveat. If you're not happy in your relationship and you're fighting because you don't like this person in general, that's very different. Fuck off. Go run. Relationship red flag. What we're talking about is fighting for your relationship. Fighting is only good if it's coming out of love.
Smart man.
So, we've had a lot of fights in our relationship.
I can say personally, and I bet you agree with me. Tell me if not. Okay. I can say personally in our...
Nope. Fighting.
So fresh. I can't even talk. Okay. Tell me if you think I'm wrong.
Okay.
In our relationship, I think most of the fights have stemmed from a lack of perspective. We both want the same end goal. I want you to be happy. I love you. I remember early on,
we had a huge fight. I know you're talking about the Frozen fight.
Yeah.
This didn't happen at Frozen or anything.
We might have to explain this.
I was trying to get her to stop picking at this one wound that I had in my life previously since I was very young. And she knew that I couldn't be who she needed me to be and the rest of our lives in our relationship if that scab didn't come off, if she didn't break down those walls. We ended up on opposite sides of the bathroom door. Both of us sobbing. Both of us
ugly.
Yelling. I can't believe this. So dramatic. 4 to 5 hours of what started out as a hey, I don't want to talk about that, to full on Frozen.
Yeah, I took out the fucking jackhammer and I was like, I'm getting it. And it was ugly. And it wasn't my best work, but it came from love. I promise you. I promise you it came from a place of love that I wanted to go in there with you and I needed you to let me in so I could have the perspective to see why things were the way they were for you. And
had you not done that though, and this is the thing, that came out of love and this is what we're talking about. That fight was born out of her wanting so badly for me to be able to be healed. She didn't fight with me because she was like, you're a dickhead.
No.
And fuck you. That wasn't the fight. It was, this thing is really affecting you and you won't talk about it, but I love you enough to go to the mat with you because I need a man. I need a partner who understands this about themselves.
People don't stay and fight for each other.
For each other.
For each other. There's a difference between really going at each other for no good reason.
There's a difference between fighting with each other and fighting for each other.
Yeah. And in that moment, I was fighting for him. And when I oftentimes hear people wanting to fight for each other, but they're so afraid to fight. There's been such a taboo about fighting in general that we think, there must be something wrong with us if we fight.
Yeah. So if there's a fight in a relationship, then we're not meant to be.
Exactly. What
That's so
bullshit.
Stupid.
Yeah.
When that door finally opened, my walls, whether I wanted them to or not, had been broken down. And there's a secret here. Had I chosen to leave instead of discuss what we needed to talk about, I wasn't the right choice for her. Because in that moment, I had a choice to make. And I chose her over my baggage. I chose letting go of that baggage and having her over holding on to my baggage and leaving her. But when you have real baggage, and a lot of us do, all of us do to some extent, it doesn't just piss off just because you're married. It gets worse if you don't deal with it. So have your knockdown dragouts, have your war of the words, get it out, have your fights. Because fighting is definitely
a part of love.